Hello, and welcome to Let's Sip and Talk with Freema. Today we have Jonathan Williams coming on. He's going to be sharing his life story, some unique instances that we would love to learn about, learn from, all that good stuff. But today's Sunday. I hope everyone's having an awesome day. Ready for the work week. For some students, we are starting back tomorrow, which is like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe this. So I just hope all the kids succeed. The ones that's already been in school, I hope you guys are succeeding. I know this virtual learning can be very difficult, especially for the parents that are working. So y'all make sure y'all share ideas and things of what you're doing with your children when you're at work and they're home. So that's something we need to learn and try to, get it together, help each other out, because this is going to be difficult. I'm going to be nervous, all kind of stuff. Anywho, I am drinking some wine on this Sunday in my Let's Sip and Talk cup. Make sure you guys support if you like what I'm doing, and cash out Let's Sip and Talk. So let's see if we can add Jonathan on. And while I'm trying to see if he's on yet, I don't show it as of yet. But what y'all cook for this Sunday? Did y'all cook anything good? Are y'all kind of relaxing today? I cooked, again, I don't cook anything major ever. I fried some pork chop with rice and cabbage. That was my meal. Not cooking anything else. And I cooked that early, up until now. But other than that, anybody cooked anything today? What's going on, people, while we're waiting for Jonathan? Jonathan, I don't see you on. Let me see if I can send you a request or see if you can send me a request. So we can go ahead and get this thing started so I can dig into your life and kind of learn from you a little bit. Because I know it's some things you love to share. When we had our brief conversation, when we were setting this date up, you had a lot to say, a lot of positive things to say, and a lot of things that need to be heard. So I hope we succeed. I hope we succeed at this. So we will see. We will see. Anybody cook today? What y'all doing besides sip and talk? Oh, I got a request. Fingers crossed, people.
How you doing,
Hey,
ma'am?
how are you? I'm glad we were successful. I was a little nervous there.
No, ma'am. I just came off of a job, so I apologize how I'm looking right now. I look kind of rough.
Oh,
I had to make sure I had to take care of my obligation.
right. Understandable. Let me take the headset out. I think I hear echo. Let me see. I hope that's not enough. Hey, can y'all hear me? That's still bad.
I can hear you.
I think we're having like a little bit of echo, but I'm still going to try to see with this. So, Jonathan, kind of tell us a little about yourself and, what made you decide, what, I got a story to tell. I got something to say.
Well, one thing about me was I had to learn to mold myself in my own spiritual growth and actually get a self-identity for myself. To tell a brief story about my life, I went through a situation where I had to do a mandatory 3 years in South Carolina Department of Corrections. And before then, I really felt like I had everything together. I really felt like no one could tell me anything. I had two loving parents that was actually there for me, that was actually trying to mold me and tell me, hey, listen, you have to step yourself up as a man. But I was looking at the age and looking at it where I'm 18, I'm grown, I can do what I want to do. And what it is that one thing led to another. So, one thing that I want to start off by saying with the viewers and the listeners is that what we have to do is we have to first get a self-identity for ourselves, and we have to find out what our divine purpose is. And when I was back, when I was back there and I was incarcerated, one thing I want to tell everybody is that I miss a lot of my daughter's life. One thing about me was I miss I miss her birth, her first walk, first talk. And as a man, that killed me. That just killed me. That killed me as a man. And that was my humbling experience. I felt like that was God put me in that situation in order for me to mold myself and get myself all the way together. So one thing
Absolutely.
so one thing I had to do was, first of all, I had to break the shell that I was in. One thing I was in was a spell. I was living in a lottery mentality, and what I mean by that, when I say that, is I was looking at the world and thinking the world owed me something when the world didn't owe me anything. And it was up to me, in order for me to get my head and my mental together and do the research I needed in order for me to actually be a pillar into my community and be an asset.
Right.
And one thing I want to tell people, when I first got out, and I apologize, I was getting out. One thing about me when I first got out was it wasn't easy, because one thing I always tell people: if there's no struggle, there's no progress. And I understood it wasn't easy, and it was a bit easy for me to go back and just do the things that I did before and things of that nature. It was easy, but one thing I had to understand was that I had to humble myself and understand that I have to go through a process. Everything in life is a process. We can't rush anything. And I had that rush mentality with myself. One thing I always wanted to do was I always wanted to make money, but I didn't understand the real way of making money. Doing the research, grinding hard, the networking, everything that goes into it. And I thought with my age I was a man, but actuality I was living a little boy mentality and a little boy life. And that's one thing I had to elevate myself for. And I like to tell everybody how I used to have to introduce myself was Swims 368437. You're not known by your name behind there. You're known by a number. That is my inmate number, and if I have to go back, which I'm not, that what they will bring me back under. That is my identification. So one thing I had to learn was I'm just a number. But if I want to become somebody, I have to be me a legacy. I have to do things that I have to cultivate my youth and be an asset instead of a liability to society. One thing Dr. Martin Luther King taught me a long time ago, and I read this and I live about a lot of quotes, was nothing pains some people more than just having to think. And one thing, I was not a thinker. I just do. Just kept going, and thought I was getting away with it. My father always used to tell me, son, you're not getting away with it. Son, there's always someone watching. Son, you have to do this. Son, you have to do that. And I'm looking like, man, Pops, I ain't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I got myself together. I know what I'm doing. And with that being said, guess what? I ate all those words that he instilled in me. But one thing it is that when you train up a child, and what I mean by that is you train up the youth in a certain type of way, they're not going to bother thee. Because the same things that the initiatives my mother took and they instilled in me, well, the same thing slapped me in my face and slapped me in my face even harder. So
Right.
one thing, what my common goal and my common strive is to help a lot of the young to exempt that part, because it's not even a necessary part you have to go through. But the thing about it is we can't get caught up in what society or what the world thinks about us, because at the end of the day, we the only ones that can judge us. God is the only one that is the judger. So when we understand that, we can walk and do what we have to do, and we can create things. I never in my life thought I'd be owning my own welding company, let alone be a CEO of a company. 5, 6, 7 years ago, my mind been gone. The farthest I seen myself was Orangeburg, South Carolina. And now I'm living in a whole nother state, in a whole nother city, and
Right.
expanding my wings even more. But one thing, it wasn't easy. It was a process, and I had to take my time and mold myself and do the research that was necessary. I tell the youth all the time, how much time you spend on your phone daily, but then you don't go and do anything constructive to actually elevate yourself. We'll be on Facebook, we'll be on every social media all day long, looking at BS and looking at foolishness that is not for our upliftment. I learned a long time ago. Guess what? If you the sharpest knife in your camp, then you need to find another camp, because at the end of the day, when you stop learning and you hit a stalemate, it's not good for you. It's poison to you. And we have
Right.
to understand that we have to take our time and go through this process. And I know I keep saying process, but that was me. I was stuck in a small paradigm. I use this for example all the time. It's like us being in a house. Our paradigm that we see now with the social media and everything going on puts us in one simple room. We never been out to the other rooms of that house. We never seen the hallway, let alone be outside. But the thing about it is, we felt like we done lived life. But only thing that we did was we died saying we woulda, coulda, shoulda did this, and we never. We haven't
Absolutely.
accomplished anything. One of my biggest motivations right now for me, and the reason why I'm thriving for my company, is not to leave a legacy, especially for my children.
Right.
I have a daughter and I have a son that looks. I can't leave them a job, but I can leave them a business. I can leave
Right.
them a mindset. I can leave them the wisdom of what I went through and what my failures was in order for them not to go through the failures. So that's my pillar right now. That's the reason why I'm stepping out, and that's the reason why I'm so motivated to do what I have to do. Because at the end of the day, our youth is hurting. I call our youth the walking dead right now. We walking around with a dead mindset. We just walking with an out of body experience. That's all we're doing right now. And when we understand that we have to build this, because this is the real strongest muscle in your body,
Right.
not physically, mentally. It's three stages of your body. You got your physical, you got your mental, and you got your spiritual. If one of those are off, guess what? Your body is gonna be thrown off. Your whole mood is gonna be thrown off. You have to find balance in your life. Once you find balance, you find order. Then you find order, you find truth. Once you find truth, guess what comes? Harmony. Harmony is what? Inner peace. You be at peace with yourself. And for anybody who don't know what I've just spoken of, those are the principles of Ma'at. Okay, so I want everybody to look that up. I'm taking y'all to school a little bit. It's capital MAAT. They have over 49 to 500 principles, but it's seven main principles, which is balance, order, truth, harmony, reciprocity, righteousness, and propriety. And when you get all those words and mold them into one great ball, I guarantee you'll be so bad and no one will be able to stop you. But the only person that's stopping us is us. And once we learn that, we're gonna be able to be something greater than just what they say we are. We're gonna become giants. We're gonna become kings. We're gonna come back queens. We got princess. We got so much legacy that we don't know about. But we just got this bastardized version of what it is to be a man, what it is to be a woman. A woman doesn't stand by what she got on her body. A man doesn't stand by just because he got a little currency in his pocket, which that's a bonus. No, then don't take my words and twist them. That's a bonus. But at the end of the day, a woman wants a man spiritually and mentally, not break them down mentally and spiritually. A woman want a man that will be able to stand on all 10 toes and know that's a solid man, and not just a solid man physically. Just not because you go to Planet Fitness and get a little muscles on your body. That's not a man. A real man cultivates for his family. He is his first priest of his family. He's the one that's supposed to take the head. He's the one that's supposed to pray for the family. We done lost our self identity as a culture, especially as a culture as men. We not even talking about black, white, none of that. Let's go to the basics of being a man. A man with no history is a man with no roots. It's like a tree with no roots. That means you're already dead. Excuse me. And what I want people to understand about that is I'm not talking about just the history of where you came from. No, what I mean by history, I'm talking about the wisdom. Tell a story to somebody else because you can help people out here. And when we get a little money in our pocket, don't shy away from what your cause is. And a lot of people right now, our leaders are failing. I feel like I'm failing because it took me this long to get it together. But I understood I had to go through the process. But the reason why I got that burning desire and feel that way is because of the fact that I should have never allowed myself to get that far and so deep into my mess until I couldn't see the light back out. Because a lot of things that we go through, sometimes, yes, it's God taking us through the process, but at the end of the day, sometimes it's God allowing us to go through the process ourselves because we think we got it all together. And that what happened to me. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was hard headed and nobody could tell me nothing. But one thing I had to do, I had to learn it's a process through everything. And if there's no struggle, there's no process. What I'm going through right now, building my company and everything, it's not easy. Last night, I think I didn't go to bed until almost 3:30, trying to do a blueprint. And then I still had to be to work today, and I'm still talking to y'all in my work clothes because it's a constant grind. I didn't have to be in a suit and tie to be on here because at the end of the day, my
Right.
words speak for me. So at the end of the day, like I tell you, I tell everybody all the time, let's grind. It's our time to grind. It's our time to grind. It's our time to grind. Keep grinding, keep grinding, keep grinding. Whatever your goals is, turn them into reality. They're easy. The thing about it is, it's whether you're gonna put the effort forth, is whether you're gonna do the research, and is whether you're gonna be the baddest of what you want to do.
Right.
One thing I want to tell us, and this goes for us folks. One thing I want to tell us, people don't owe us anything. Stop walking around thinking people owe us anything. First of all, let me say one thing. Slavery happened 400 years ago, okay? It's a system in place. Only in order for us to break that system, we have to not become the system, but create our own. And how you do that? Right now, we're gonna speak on a subject that's real touchy right now: police brutality. As African Americans, we are teaching our children to say "F the police." F12, this, that, and the third, this, that, and the third. So what you're doing is you're cultivating them and molding them to as they get older, they gonna remember them words and they are gonna be rebellious towards them. So first of all, if you look at a lot of things that happen in this insensitive situation, a lot of things that could have been avoided. It's something called causation. It's a cause and effect of everything. A lot of situations could have been avoided. Not all of them, but a lot of them could have been avoided if we would have had this, start with this, instead of thinking with this. Because this run 1,000 miles per hour before this process. So one thing and this is a sensitive situation, but how are you becoming a solution? How you become a solution? Well, hey, allow your children to become the lawyers, the doctors, the police. Hey, have your children to go to these law schools and learn about politics and things of that nature and become the next senator, the next House of Representative. Hey, let's do these things. But no, what it is that what we're doing is we are all taught right now. And it's sad, but at the end of the day, I want people to understand we got to stop teaching our children to hate people and teach our children how to use this reverse psychology. Nobody say a black person
Absolutely.
can't become a police officer. But at the end of the day, how many children right now say I want to be a police officer? When I was growing up, that was something we cherished. Oh, I want to be a police officer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a firefighter. Now, if you ask a black child now, guess what they want to be? I want to be an NBA basketball player. I want to be an NFL player. It's something that's dealing in that nature, and that's because we as the adults, we as the wise ones, because you can find an old fool, but we as the wise ones are keeping our jewels to ourselves. We are not trying to become a pillar. We are not trying to take that extra initiative and step out and be something better than what we ever could have been. Because one thing I
Right.
tell my daughter all the time, and when my son get old enough for me to actually talk to him, I'm gonna tell him, son, I want you to be better than me. My father tell me that to this day still. Hey, son, I want you to be better than me. Never understood what that means, but now with me being a parent of my own, and now with me grinding on my own grind, with my own path of having to push, and the sleepless nights that my parents didn't tell me about because of the fact that they didn't want to expose that type of lifestyle to me. But now I really understand. I understand when my daddy came home late at night and he don't work all night and had to go right back, right all over again. I understand when my mother was sitting right there staying this place until 6, 7 o'clock at night and things of that nature. I never understood that because all I knew was I was reaping the benefits of what they've been sowing. But
Right.
now with as being an adult, we got to understand that we got to put in things in order to receive things, and we have to learn.
Absolutely.
We have to learn, and we got to build each other. We can't be walking around with self hate and walking around with hatred for everybody. You're not hurting nobody but yourself, and you're hurting everybody around you. So we have to grow this. We have to grow it.
We
So
have
I
to.
mean, I know I kind of went off. I apologize. I supposed to introduce myself. I said,
It's talent is because we having some type of echoing. So it's good you just took it and ran with it. Can you hear me? Can y'all hear us? Anybody know what's going on? I think we lost him. No. Oh no. Okay. Is it my end? Somebody? Anybody? Oh shoot.
think
There you go.
I think it was my end. I had bad connection.
Okay. But what I was saying was we're having echo, and so it was good that you kind of went on with it, because as I talk, I can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it on your end, but I can hear it talking back to me. So it's good that you just kept it going. I did want to ask you something, and this is just conversation. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to. But do you think the journey that life took you, those 3 years times being incarcerated, do you think if that didn't happen, do you think you'll be where you at now? Like, where do you see yourself at if those trials and things didn't happen to you?
Still thinking I'm getting over. Still thinking I'm beating the system. Still thinking that
Really?
I know everything. Yes, ma'am. That was the icebreaker. That was my real molding, because that's one thing I always told myself: I was gonna never go to prison. And I feel like everybody say that all the time. You never gonna go to prison, and it happened to me. And when that happened to me, and the moment and the time it happened to me could have been the worst timing in the world. It was when my daughter was about to be born, and I was gonna miss everything. So me personally, I feel like no, I would have been hard headed still. I think I still would have been thinking I could beat the system, getting over, and probably would have got myself in something even greater than what I had to actually endure. So yeah, that was the actual pivot point for me, and I think I really can say that was the real turning point in my life.
Okay. So I was wondering that. I was actually wondering because sometimes a lot of us do have to hit rock bottom, to actually see our worth and see where we want to be and where we don't want to be. So that's awesome. But hopefully our young generation will actually, maybe the parents will show them this video and say, hey, you can actually still become someone, even if you was going down the wrong path. It's time to straighten kids' life, as far as making sure they're being productive, showing them. Did we lose you again? I think we lost him again. We'll see if he comes back on. Oh, now it's saying no answer. Thing we having different. Let me see if I can request him this time. So, hey,
Hello, how you doing? I apologize. I done got somewhere different
oh,
now.
it's okay.
I done
It's
got.
okay. Technical difficulties. We can't control it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But yeah, I was saying that like I think it play a major part now with everything that's going on as parenting. We have to let our kids know that it's time to be productive. It's time to learn things. It's time to broaden your horizons. Like let them know it's more out there than just like you said. You all you see was Orangeburg. So we have to try to do something for our younger generation. We have to, and I just hope they share this video or let them see the video, of you giving your story because I know that's something hard you had to deal with. Like I appreciate you actually sharing that with us. A lot of people don't have the courage to actually, say, "Hey, I've been in prison for 3 years." That's a lot.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And there's one thing I want to say too. I feel like right now a lot of laziness and complacency has taken place. The reason being is because when I was growing up, we really didn't have social media like that, so we was more interactive. We went outside and socialized with other children. We actually learned from other children. Now today as parents, we just want to throw a tablet or we just want to throw a television in front of the children and allow the television to teach our children because it's easier now. It's easier for us to do that. I feel like we don't have got lazy as parents. Yeah, we be tired coming from work, but hey, what happened to family time? What happened to asking your children, hey, how was your day? What you have for homework? Let me help you with your homework. Let me do this. Let me do that.
Right.
Precious moments of actually just allowing the child to actually have a role model and see it with their own eyes, vice versa, is them having to go out and find role models. And right now, a
Right.
lot of people are going out to find role models because a lot of people right now, I mean, look how jacked up parents is right now. You got parents that's trying to be their children's best friend. You got parents that go to the club with their children. You know, like, it's deeper than what people think it is. Anime West, and everybody that watching know Anime West. Anime West ain't gonna be in no club with me. Everybody knows Sandra Williams. Sandra Williams is not gonna be in no club with me. It was raised with a whole different breed, and my family, my whole entire family, I can say from the West, Gillens, Williams, whoever, my whole entire family, they have a strong legacy of family being family oriented. So I learned that, but what about the child that doesn't know that? What about the child that
Right.
never experienced being family oriented? The only time they thinking about being family oriented is if we go out or we do something crazy or do this, that, and the third.
Mm.
So, I really don't blame youth. Only can be taught as much as they want to be taught and as much as they are being taught. And the reason
Right.
now they don't want to be taught is because they done been hurt by what they've been taught so long until now it's almost like they're rebellious.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's a lot that goes into that, but it, I understand they say many are gathered and a few are chosen, but I want to be one of them chosen few because
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, we need more pillars of the community. We don't have anything no more. We don't have pillars. We don't have people that's really stepping up. And then the people we have stepping up right now is more corrupted than the people that we had before. So,
Right.
we have to look out for the leeches and we got to look out for people like that too. But at the end of the day, like I was saying, it takes us. Like I gave you all the highest praise because at the end of the day, it takes a leap of faith to hop out here and talk about some of the sensitive subjects that people don't want to talk about, or people look at
Right.
the image like if I say this, people gonna look at me a certain type of way. It takes a lot. People don't understand how much it goes into it with what you're doing. And with you being able to show just even local talent, local businesses, and things of that nature, first of all, what that is building a network within. It's
Right.
called interdependency. You relying on our resource for us to rely on your resource, but we for a greater good and a greater gain.
A greater good. Absolutely.
So, like I
Absolutely.
said, we need more people like us. We need people that's willing to step out. We need people to really just tell the truth. We don't need
That's
somebody
it.
coming out here with all these fancy words and want to say they're elated and things of that nature. Yeah, it's good to have a fancy wordplay. I could remix it, but at the end of the day, I know my fan base and the people I'm trying to reach, they're gonna want to hear the real. They don't want to hear
Right. Absolutely.
talk. They want to hear what I done been through and okay, what? Oh, you done did that? Oh, you done did that too? No, ain't no way you done did that. Yes, sir, I done did it. Oh man, I thought I was the only one going through it. Nah, man, I can't tell that now. I know you can't tell that. It was hard. It wasn't easy. I had to do it. And we need more people like that that's gonna step out and just don't shy away from your story. Tell your story. People need that.
Exactly. Tanisha West, tell us a little bit about your business and what you do. So, what do you do,
AT.
and how'd you get into it?
Hey, that's one of my favorite cousins. Um, well, my name of my company is Wells LLC. What it is that right now I'm a rig company, and what it is that I do many contracts for multiple businesses. Maybe it can be refrigeration, all the way up to maybe I have to do some type of fencing or anything. And we draw up the contract, and then I go to them at their dispense or at their need. And then on the side, I also, and this is one of the first things that I started doing, was I actually build and fabricate and customize smokers slash grills or smokers. So
Okay.
Now, my ultimate goal, I'm about to become a contractor, and what it is that I want to be able to get on these high-end jobs, and then once I get on to these high-end jobs, then I'll be able to broaden my horizon, but I'm crawling before I can walk, and I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina because it was a better venue. Anybody Orangeburg, not knocking Orangeburg. Orangeburg made me who I am, but at the end of the day, it's a slow growing, economy up there, and the biggest
It is.
economy is agriculture. So that's not a place that I would actually thrive in. So the thing about it is, I knew I had to move to a major venue, and what's better than Queen City? Queen City is growing out
Yeah,
this world, and I want a piece of that pie. I want to secure my bag.
I understand that. Jonathan, do you have a website or something if someone watching decides they want to get, the smoker, the grill, and all that good stuff? How do they contact you?
Okay, now one thing is, look up Golden Wells LLC, all lowercase, on Facebook. Right now, that's my page, and I'm also in current construction of the Instagram, but it's all gonna be Golden Wells LLC, and you can reach me at LinkedIn at Golden Wells LLC. Business cards are coming soon. I had to trademark my logo and everything before I just started broaden them out, make sure nobody copyright what I was
Right.
doing. I had to make sure that I had everything on my legal side together so I can make sure I know what I was doing. So the website, the URL, actual website is in process. But like I said, it was just some legal things because when I start dealing with international, I have to make sure I CYA. And people know what that means when I say that. I don't have to actually say that. So
So Jonathan, what would you tell individuals who want to become, a business owner, or, because a lot of people say, okay, I want to own a business, I want to be a CEO, I want to do this, and then they jump into it. And you mentioned, about the trademark, all that good stuff. So what advice would you tell someone, that's thinking about, okay, I want a business, I'm gonna go ahead and order and be in business mode. Like what would you tell someone?
well, first of all, I'm gonna tell someone don't rush into it. This was my vision and my goal since 2016, since I started actually playing with welding. I knew that it was a growing stage. First of all, what I really mean by that is this: get on the job and learn the field, learn the craft. Um, don't set yourself up for failure, because one thing I learned, it's a lot of people throwing contracts out here, but the liability on those contracts and not being able to fulfill those contracts will have you in so much debt before you even start. And another thing, research your field. Take your field serious. Try to be the best at what you do. Nobody's gonna make this money for you but you. Nobody gonna make your business grow but you. You are your first customer. The reason being is because you're gonna want to please everything that you gonna want to do. So one thing I tell people: research, and find people that can give you some wisdom in the company that you do. There's a lot of places that you can go, and people will throw incentives at you. And then on top of that, the internet. We living in the day and age that ain't nothing you can't find on the internet. Just make
Right.
just make sure the website is accredited. That's all. And if you don't know how to look, make sure a website accredited. And guess what? If you want to own your business, I'm not about to tell you. I'm not gonna spoil you. I want you to actually go out here and start doing some research. One thing I had to do, it took me a year and a half to 2 years of research, literally, on what to do, the criteria, how to LLC, how to do this, how to do that. It's way more that goes into it than just say, oh, well, I'm gonna just open up my business.
Right.
Because like I said, the only reason why I can't put up my cards out there and the only reason why I have this Facebook page is because I had to trademark my logo. And just for everybody that want to open a business, when you open up a business logo, just be prepared to spend $2,500 to $3,000. Because first of all, for you to even get it in the database internationally, is $1,099. So make sure you have a type of income. And another thing, learn about your business credit. Learn what business credit consists of. Learn how you can get business credit, because once you learn that, you'll be surprised. You don't have to use your own personal gains in order for you to. And I learned this from 7 Habits of Highly Effective Living. Begin with the end in mind. Know your end goal. Know what you're trying to accomplish, and don't stop until you get there. Because it's easy, like I said, it's easy for us to get lazy, easy for us to get complacent, it's easy for us to get distracted. Because especially if you
Right.
trying to do this and oh my God, adult with children, it's easy for you to get distracted. But you got to know your end goal and you got to know your purpose. So
Right.
one thing I can say about people that starting a business, hey, network with people that already have business. Do your research and be serious about it. Because at the end of the day, your how serious you are is how much money you're gonna make in your business. If you only $200 effort, well, you're gonna only make $200 a week, and you could have been on somebody's job making $200 a week, not dealing with that headache. But if you really
Right.
want to thrive and become something that's different, become a franchise, then you're gonna have to put in that work.
Well
So,
said. Well said, Jonathan.
yes, ma'am. So I think that's one big thing about owning your own business. You know, the severity. You have to be serious. You have to. You have to.
Yeah,
A
you
lot.
definitely have to. A lot of people jump out there and don't realize everything that comes along with it and the things that you should have done before you actually, put yourself out there. So I'm
Right,
glad you
right, right,
shared that with us.
right. And I mean another thing too. I mean sometimes. I mean even though you do your research, it's gonna be a scratchy surface. One thing I want everybody to know that, like I said, it wasn't easy for me starting my own business. It was a scratchy surface. It was a lot of things that I had to go through, a lot of red tape, especially with me being a felon. Just putting it out there. So I mean, it wasn't like it was something that I just walked into and said, "Hey, I'm doing this." But at the end of the day, I understood what the end goal was, and I motivate myself and push myself in order for me to get to the point I am now. And like I said, that where that self drive at. That's where you knowing your purpose, and that's where you knowing your self identity and knowing where you're going in life. Once you know that, nobody can stop you. Once you understand that, and some people might call it arrogance. I don't care if you call it arrogance. It's a reason why I walk with my head held high, because I
Right.
in the valley low, but I got a future in the mountaintops high. So at the end of the day, I know where I'm going, and I understand. And if people start going and take it very very serious, they can thrive in it. It's so much you can do. And not trying to be funny when I say this, and I'm not trying to be funny when I say I told somebody this. If COVID-19 didn't teach you how to become a hustler, then you need to reevaluate yourself. Because them nights when you wasn't at work, and like me, I lived I lived off of my check plus overtime. When they took that overtime away and I saw what a 40-hour check looked like all over again for the first time, and saw what bills I was facing compared to that, oh, I knew I had to get on the grind then. But at the end of the day, I gotta ask the audience, is you hungry? If you're not hungry, I
Right.
can't feed somebody who's full, have it. But at the end of the day, is you're hungry. Once you get hungry enough, you'll understand. But don't wait till you get to your lowest point to understand. Don't wait till you get to your lowest point
Exactly.
to understand. So that's just one thing. Just being serious about it, and that's not giving up. Because people give up. People give up so easily now. And people look for excuses and a reason why just to say, "Well, I tried and that's it." That's excuses. We don't have to do that no more. It's so much resources to grow. So much resources.
Right.
We're lazy. We don't want the resources. We'll go on YouTube and play a whole R&B rap list, and you can learn a whole new rap song album, but you can't go on there and look up Welder. You can't
Yeah.
go on there and look up this and become this. Listen, when I first started building my smoke pits and my grills, I went on YouTube and looked at different people and came up with my own ideology of how to do it. It's there. The
I'm
resource.
telling you, it's there. The resources are there.
Google is everywhere. You can Google people.
That's the
You
truth.
ain't even got Google places. You can Google people. So
That's the
like
truth.
it's the laziness. Listen. It's not an excuse no more. Now, one time maybe it been an excuse, but it's really not an excuse no more. We make all the excuses in the world of why we couldn't or why we didn't. It's not an excuse no more. Everything,
Not at
every
all.
resource we need right now is at the palm of our hands. In that same $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 you put into that phone, you can invest that $2,000, $3,000 into your future, into extra in your pocket. Another thing I want to bring up that I said that. Do you know African Americans are the number one consumers in the United States? Do you know we consume $73 billion of resources guesstimately? Because I don't know how it done hit a year, but I know in like 2018, 2019, the Census Bureau actually put out that African American communities produce $73 billion in revenues
Wow.
in order for consumption. So you mean to tell me African Americans will put out $73 billion, but we still sitting right here saying we poor?
Still
But you
saying
go
we're
out there,
poor.
but guess what? I bet you how many people went out there and bought them Jordan 12s though? A $300 pair of shoes. I bet you they went out there and got them 12s. I bet you ain't had to
I'm pretty sure a
struggle
lot.
and scratch your head and say, how I'm gonna get this? I bet you was standing in line like everybody else hoping you get your pair with jitterbugs. You got our priorities mixed up. But we
It's
say
the
we don't.
mindset.
It's the mindset. You know, we so materialistic now. Nothing wrong with being materialistic. I want to find a thing. I want me nice designer. Yes, ma'am. I want everything, but I know I gotta crawl before I can walk. I understand that it's a
Exactly.
process I have to go through. So many people that this company that I work for and I weld at, I meet people from all over. I'm talking about I'm meeting people from all over. And the thing about it, the first thing they told me is humility. They started off with being humble, taking the time and understanding what their process was. They said they didn't always have Range Rovers, they didn't always have these Maseratis and things of that nature. They didn't always live on a private golf course. Some of them even say, hey, we started off at a one-bedroom apartment. But
See?
they knew what their grind was. These people knew what their grind was. And at the end of the day, some of these people didn't start off with money. Just because you see them with money don't mean everybody started off with money. But at the end of the day,
Exactly.
what people what people need to understand is that it's a process and you got to become a thinker, become a think tank. And a lot of people that hurts people. When you ask some people to think, it is like you done lost them. It's over with. You know, when you done ask a person to think, it's like now they done start acting out in ignorance because
Right. Because
oh, I don't need to think. One thing about me when I was incarcerated, you know how many people behind the wall like, man, I don't know why I'm behind these walls, man, just that because you didn't think. You act. And that's one thing we got to become more thinkers. Instead, we gotta be able to humble ourselves, and that was where a lot of things will come from. If you know how to stay humble and understand that God is taking you through a process and allow Him to mold you and take you through the process, it's gonna become easy.
it's
It's
going to
gonna
become easy.
not
And we also have to learn to ask. Sometimes it's okay to ask if you don't know. You know, a lot of us shy away from that, or be embarrassed, or don't want to ask the next person that they see, doing things, or I want to do that too, but I don't know how to go about it. Just ask. Everybody's not going to just turn you away or not want to share, which we do have a lot of people that don't like to share the knowledge, but you won't
right,
know if you don't ask, if you don't put it out there.
right, right, right. And see, you know, the thing about it is a lot of people done got to the point to where they're looking at it and they say, well, I don't want to ask this because I don't want to feel dumb. Well, first of all, I'm gonna tell you what a dumb question is. A dumb question is a question that's not asked. I'm gonna tell you why. Because at the end of the day, I don't care if you ask 1,000 questions. One thing, you don't have to look under no rock. And another thing, when you ask all those questions, you will get a lot of clarity. A lot of us want to go off of what we guess or we get a hunch or we assume. You know what the country and the old folks say assume mean?
Yeah.
You smile, so that means you understand. And a lot of
Yeah.
us understand that. But seriously, we done got to where we just making a bunch of assumptions. How many people you see just talking out of just ignorance? You could just have a conversation with them and you just be like, okay, like you talking because you're angry, you're talking because you're mad, you're talking out of your emotions. You know that's really what kills a lot of people.
I
Just
know.
that's why they can't thrive. That's why their business don't grow, because they make too many assumptions. They just assume it instead of actually going out there and finding the truth.
Exactly. Assumptions would tear us apart. A lot of people will assume so many things, and now you're playing on it as if it actually happened when it's just an assumption. We don't even know if this is going to come to play. We don't know if it's going to happen, but I assume, and now my mind is playing tricks on me, thinking something is actually going to happen, and it may not.
And another thing too, once you start thinking it so hard, it becomes reality.
Mm.
And not reality as in it can actually happen. It becomes reality in your mind. Once it becomes
For you,
reality in your mind, it becomes your mind.
that's my point.
Be so
That's my
brainwashed
point.
and gone. Yes, you'll be so brainwashed and gone. And that what a lot of people don't understand. Take that assumption spirit out. We don't need that assumption. We have every resource we want in the world right now at the palm of our hands. If you need to know something, look it up. Stop being lazy.
Look it up.
I don't have to tell nobody to look up the latest rap lyrics because you probably know them. Look it up. It took you going on YouTube. It took you listening to the radio. It took you doing this to actually hear it, for it to actually for you to even like it. It took a word of mouth for
Right.
you to like it, for someone to even tell you, hey, you heard this person drop this. Well, hey, how about this? How about we start telling each other and start, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Hey, how about I call my brother? Hey, bro, when you gonna open up? When we gonna open up this restaurant? What you think our revenues is? We need to look up this revenues. Da, 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 da. When we gonna start having intelligent conversations instead of always shooting BS with each other? That's our problem. We play too
Exactly.
much. We play
That
too
goes
much.
back to what you said in the beginning. If you are the sharpest, and I know I'm probably gonna mess this up, but if you are the sharpest tool in your whole little, what do you want to call it, circle or whatever, then you might need to rethink who you're around.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. If you get around people and they're not having the same conversation you're having, and this is why I had to learn. When you get around people that are not able to withstand the conversation you're having, let me say it that way. When you start talking about on a whole nother level and they be like, man, I'm good, or man, I ain't about to do all that, this, that, and the third, you better back away from them. I,
Okay.
and the reason why I say this, I learned that the hard way. You know, I learned that the hard way. People that I thought was my friends, people that I thought really was there for me. Just because we throw it together don't mean you're my friend. Because I got to remember where I met you at is the way you're going to dictate how you are. Now, I'm not saying that's for everybody, because some people grow out of that. And some people, I like that. Some people had networked together and they started off doing this together, but now they're doing this together. Kudos to them, because those are people that got themselves together at the right moment in time before it got too late. But I'm talking about the
Right.
people who just not never going to get themselves together. First of all, we don't live for people, we live for self. You cannot run a family, you cannot run a business, you cannot be a husband, a wife, you cannot be a father or a mother to anybody if you don't have yourself together. The only thing you're
Absolutely.
doing, the only thing you're doing is destroying some other human beings. All you're doing is corrupting some more mindsets, and now you just
Mm.
put them out there so they can teach the next generation the same thing. And now we're growing up in a whole world of ignorance, and that's what has happened. If you look at what's going on now, so who gonna stand up? That's the question. Who is really
That's the
gonna stand
question.
up? It's easy for us to make our little dollars and run away. No, who is actually gonna stand up? Who's gonna become the next pillar? Who's going to be the
Mm.
one that actually take the blunt force? Because one thing we have to understand, becoming a pillar too, you actually going to have to go through some things.
You have to do.
That's
Yeah.
why I don't care about people knowing about my incarceration. I know it's probably going to be times when people going to try to slap that in my face.
Yeah.
One thing I could have did when I first got out was when I was going through all these job interviews, deny, 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 deny. And you want me to tell you, it got so funny. And the reason why I say funny, because I knew what my work was, and I knew that I wasn't going back to what I used to do and what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going to go through that process because I prepared myself for that process. And
Right.
people have to understand the preparation is the key more than when you actually perform. Because you only go
That's the
perform how
truth.
you
That's the
you can
truth.
sit right there. I mean, I know we got a bunch of sports fans out here. Hey, I know sports fans that can rely on this. Okay, if you as a football team as a unit and you never ever practice together, do you think you're gonna go out there and win some type of championship? You never alone
Mm-mm.
go out there and win a game. It takes practice. It takes you learning the
It's
playbook.
take.
It takes the blood, sweat, and tears. It takes you the hard nights coming home aching. It takes you sleepless, going to sleep at 4:30 in the morning, got to get right back up at 5:30, wondering why you even went to sleep. It takes things of that nature. It takes practice. But if you don't understand what practice consists of, then you can't understand what the game
Right.
consists of. If you don't practice the game, you will never get good at the game. You will never get great at the
Right.
game. All you're gonna be is doing this. It's gonna be repetitive. You're gonna go here and drop right back down to here, drop right back down to here, and drop right back down to here. And all you did was go up and down your whole life. But for you to keep elevating, you have to learn it. You have to learn the elevation.
You have to
So
learn.
so yeah, so
And
I
one
mean
thing you
that's
mentioned just really quickly, you said you prepared yourself because a lot of us have set ourselves up for failure because we already just you knew you were good at welding. You knew you were great, but you didn't set yourself up to say, I'm gonna get this job as soon as I apply because I know I'm good. But you already had a realistic expectation that people can turn you down. You know, people are going to turn you down. When we learn to accept things and don't just jump out there thinking everything has to be given to us just because we know our worth, that's better too, rather than, don't set yourself up like that.
well. I'm
And
gonna
and
tell
then you
you.
want to be disappointed and
See, I'm gonna tell you one thing how I set myself up. I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you my story because I got some people that are watching that actually was at Trenton Correctional Institution with me, and I see them on the line, so they can relate to this story when I say this. One thing they can say about, and this is what they call me, Fat Boy. One thing they can say about Fat Boy, I got there, went for my, well, they first of all they had to do diploma verification for your high school. Then you didn't have to go to school if you didn't want to. So when my diploma got verified and I was still in the work keys program, the guy asked me, he was like, well, you don't have to come to school if you don't want to, or this and third. I said, no, I want my work keys. And technically, I really wasn't supposed to be in the work keys because it was supposed to people that's supposed to get their GED and go straight to their work keys. They was top priority over me because I already had a diploma. So I talked to the guy and said, man, I really will like my work keys. He said, okay, well, you're going to stay in your work keys. So then I told him, I said, hey, man, I really would like to get back into this trade, man. He was like, what trade? Welding. Let alone, let me tell you a little secret. Welding was the top trade back there. So the thing about it is, it was funny because it was a waiting list for almost like a year and a half. But the guy said, if you hold up to your end of the bargain and you do your work keys and you take this seriously, he said, I'll hold up to my end of the bargain, I'll put you in welding. So I had to drive. I didn't do the work keys because I wanted to get in welding, because first of all I understood that a work keys is something that could get you on the job faster. So that was one step that I took. Second step I took initiative. Start talking to this man, because at the end of the day he didn't know my mindset, but I showed him a different me. And he didn't look at me as an inmate no more. He looked at me as the person Jonathan. And then after that, after I got in welding, I didn't stop there. I got in welding and went there day and afternoon and ended up becoming a TA in the afternoon. While still being in Toastmasters, if anybody know what Toastmasters is, it teach you public speaking. It teach you through a whole
okay.
area of writing and things. I was the president of the Toastmaster Club. That's
Wow.
okay. I was also in a wreath project. I could make some bad Christmas wreath. I stayed productive. My overall thing is I stayed productive. I worked in laundry. I worked in commissary. The only thing I haven't touched was the cafeteria. But the thing about it is productivity. What I did was I prepared myself and set myself up for the outside. So when I get going, I can. But the thing about it is, how many people that I seen back there, all they did was try to sell drugs all day. They be on the phone all day. They lay up in bed all day. They watch TV all day. Then when you get out, you be like, man, ain't nobody want to hire me. First of all, the people is not hiring you because you're a felon. People want to see what you have done. You know what the guy,
Right.
the first company that hired me for welding, Optimized Armor, told me? He said, wow, he said, I understand you went to prison. He said, I ain't worried about that. He said, but all these your certificates from prison? I said, yes, sir. He said, how long you been there? I said, only 3 years. He said, these about 5 or 6 years worth. Well, just
Wow.
we'll hire you. And he knew that he took the leap of faith. He might have didn't want to hire me, but the reason being because I sold myself. He saw that okay, this guy was preparing himself. He wasn't just somebody back there just loafing around. So I mean, productivity is a good sign. When people look at your resume and they look at your job history, they want to look at the productivity of your job history. That's why they call your job and use
Right.
references because they want to understand that this guy is productive. They don't want to understand that this person is prepared. And if you haven't prepared yourself, of course, people is not going to be. First of all,
Yeah.
you don't even know how to go in interviews and have a simple interview. A lot of people sit down slouching. They want to be cool. They talking low.
Whew.
They don't even know yes sir or yes ma'am no more. It's yeah, no, maybe. So it's ignorance. It's ignorance.
Do you not understand people I've come in contact with that will come to an interview in like slippers or bedroom shoes or and it's like I, it's a lot. I be lost for words sometimes.
Right, right. And I mean, the thing about it is, who are preparing them?
Yeah,
Yeah. So that means we're failing. And the reason
absolutely.
I keep putting myself into the equation because I want to understand that it's a personal fight for me. It's a personal fight, and for training them. One thing now is it's cool to be dumb. It's cool to be dumb. I looked on the other day on the internet, the virtual classes. And I'm looking at the children, older brother getting the other child in trouble. He coming on there telling the teacher, suck his, you know what, MFers and this, that, and the third, and all the other. He's like, just laughing and this, that, and the third. But it's ignorance. But guess what? We done turn ignorance into cool. But then guess what? We
Into
get mad
cool.
when but guess what? We get mad when somebody call us a nigga though. But look at the definition of a nigga. Ain't nothing but an ignorant person. You fulfilling that.
That's all it is.
So you can't get mad if somebody call you a nigga because at the end of the day, you fulfilling that role. You fulfilling that role. And like
And
I
see, with
said,
the whole virtual thing, is like students that's doing stuff like that's taken away from the kids that really want to learn. So it's just we have to tighten up as parents. You see little Billy misbehaving, like you gotta stop it. You gotta stop it. These kids need to learn.
well, and me personally, I feel like a lot of that is a cry for help. When a challenge comes, we like to run. That was something that I faced. That's why I could really talk and speak on that because I'm speaking of self when I say that. When something challenging comes and a challenge faces, it don't matter how smart you are, you're gonna run. And if you're not prepared or if you're not willing to take that challenge, you gonna be dull. You gonna lash out. You're gonna act out of ignorance because you're trying to get yourself out that situation. And I feel like it's a crime. You know, my question is, if where are the parents? What have the parents did for this? Have the parents stepped out about this? You know, I understand it's a virtual class and you can't control everything, but at the end of the day, where are our powerful teachers? Like we grew up with powerful teachers. I'm like Miss O'Brien because guess what? Miss O'Brien said, "Well, I'm gonna cut you behind at school. Then I'm gonna tell your daddy he gonna cut you behind, and then when you go down there to your grandma, she gonna cut you behind. So you want to go through that? No, ma'am. Cool. And she still cut my behind a few times because I still got it. But I mean, the thing about it is, even with just teachers have to step back up. Well, are a lot of teachers that will actually dedicate themselves. Now it's like now with a lot of teachers, it's just a number. A lot of
Yeah.
I mean, we see it in college with professors and everything, because they got thousands and thousands of students, hundreds of students, things of that nature, where they can't get one-on-one with students. But you got teachers now, they got 12 students in their class, and all they do is know them by names and want to write them up.
That's it.
And the thing about it, it's a mindset. I feel totality is just a whole mindset.
And to be a teacher, I think, and this just it has to be yours to the best for the student. Not just the teacher because you're off. you want to do something like that. That's the same being, nurses and doctors. You have to have love for another person.
All right. Yeah. We got a false identity of right now is love. I guarantee it. And I feel like we got a false identity because it's a lot of people out here that can tell you right now that they love you, but really have no type of love for you.
Don't even care.
Don't even care, literally. But they don't even care about themselves, so they're not about to care about you. So yeah, I mean, what I think one big thing that we got to really start doing is, first of all, we got to be an example. You know, we gotta step out here and be the example. So at least when people start hearing our story and things of that nature, they can actually put that point. We could put the puzzle pieces together and say, okay, well, this guy actually doing what he said he's doing. And then after that, then I feel like that's when we gotta start and cultivate the mind. Break these chains. Break this bondage mindset that we have. We have a bondage mindset. I mean, we gotta break it. When we break these spirits and break all this demonic stuff that's going on, once we break all that and start using this and make this the pillar of your everyday move and your everyday living, I'm telling you, we'll become powerful. But we can't become powerful.
Yeah.
Like I said, Martin Luther King said, nothing pains some people heart more than just to think. I mean, it's harder to think yourself through the situation. So
But
yeah,
Jonathan, I want to say this, because a lot of people may have, went to prison and stuff, but you have an actual story to tell, because I know it's a lot of individuals that have been in prison or jail. I don't really know too much of a difference, but
right.
been behind those bars and felt like, okay, my life is over, or they had someone in their ear saying, my life is over, you can't do anything, you ruined your life, but you went back there and you got those 6 certificates, or a plethora of certificates. You came out and you became something. So I think this is something you need to constantly share with people so they'll know there is hope, because we learn from each other, and you have a story to tell, Jonathan.
Thank you. And another thing too, one thing I do want to say, it has been them times where I was at Kirkland and R&E, and I sat right there and said I threw my life away, and like, F it, I might as well go out here and just do what I want to do now and the things of the nature. I went through that phase, so I don't want people to think that it was just, well, I'm gonna go back here and I'm a muscle down. No, when I first went there, I blamed the whole world because at the end of the day, I still had that mindset and break me until my daughter was born. I got incarcerated that May. That September, when that beautiful queen came into this world, and I wasn't there when she used to come and see me, and she was used to getting a stamp, and that's something that not cool. When she come and have her first walk, and I wasn't there for the first walk, first talk. I wasn't there for the first talk. I mean, yeah, my people came, you know. I mean, yeah, my people came and was like, oh my God, woo, like she walking. But I understood that she been doing that before, but that was just their own personal way of trying to uplift me. Back in the day, that was a breaking point for me. And a lot of us just need to be broken. I really feel to be reconstructed. Like, it's not a good feeling. This process is not a good feeling. It's many nights that I actually cried and shed a lot of tears because I couldn't be there. My sentence didn't even speed up, and one thing I can say, once I start doing a lot of good, when you put in a lot of good, you get a lot of good out of it. And I feel like God begins to bless you when you put a lot of good into it. The reason why I say that is because I put a lot of good into being behind there. And I was supposed to get out December 14th, 2018. Well, I surprised my mama and came home November 30th, 2018. All of a sudden, so early release. And I did max me all the way out. So I don't have anything that's over my head, no probation, parole, or anything. And that was a blessing, because I don't know how to sleep. I mean, me personally, hey, I mean, I'm raised in the church and I'm very spiritual. I believe that was nobody but God, So at the end of the day, like I said, I mean, You do. My mother, my father say it all the time, and now it's something that I live off of and implement into my life. If you do God's work, if you take care of God's business, He'll take care of yours. And
Absolutely.
that's what we have to understand. And what it is that we have to become pillars.
Think we might have lost Jonathan again. When I tell you he has a story to tell, like this is powerful. This is his testimony, and I guarantee it'll help someone. And I mean, if you have a child that just feel like, or even a old, a child, period, no matter the age, let them hear the, there's time. They can turn it around. Keep saying no answer from live video guests. Uh, I see the request, but it's not allowing me. I approve. Even let me connect, Jonathan. There we go. Turn it. Okay, I don't think it's. I'm gonna try it. It won't do it. I must say, y'all, this was a great segment. Very, 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 very powerful words from Jonathan. It takes someone special to share a story as he is. A lot of people don't want to share it or feel like you'll judge them or you know judge them based upon their past. But he has turned that all. Oh, I thought we had it. He turned that completely around, and he must have a great support system because sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need that love from other individuals to push us through. Jonathan, I don't think it's gonna let me. Shoot, we're gonna have to do another segment with Jonathan because he has some great things to say, and I know we can go on all day with him. I love it. I love when people just speak positivity, motivation, speak real. You know, yeah, it's not gonna let me do it. Okay, but I do want to thank everyone for tuning in. Jonathan, I thank you so much for sharing this. We definitely have to do a part two. You really shared something that we needed to hear. A lot of us needed to hear. A lot of our children need to hear it. So don't shy away from letting them sit down and watch this video. Not to oh, not probably some of the past ones, on a Friday, but today, definitely share this video with your kids if you think this will help them. Let them see that, okay, he made mistakes, and he learned from them. A lot of people say, yeah, I made a mistake. Oh, I did it again. Sometimes if it's repetitive, it's no longer a mistake. You know what you're doing. But sometimes that mistake and you turn it around, you learn from it. Sometimes we just make bad decisions. But as long as you don't keep doing those and making those same bad decisions, you learn from it. You become something, and you pass it on to someone else. Through words, through knowledge, through sharing. So that's what it's all about on Let's Sip and Talk with Freema. This one here, I love it. I love this segment. I'm sorry we're having the difficulties. I want to bring him back on. But we're going to do a part two with Jonathan because, like I said, I know we can probably go on all day and just talk about things, life experiences. Um, Golden Wells, that is his welding company. He's the CEO of that. He turned his life around. Jonathan, kudos to you. Kudos to your support system. Alan, thank you very much for setting this up. I appreciate all the viewers. Y'all tuning in on this Sunday. Y'all make sure y'all have a productive week. Take it easy. Be stress free. Let's be here for these children. It's a transition for them too. So it's not all about the parents. Yeah, we have to work, some of us, but we have to come home. I don't care if you have to take a minute in the car before you get out, but they need us, y'all. They need us. They're going through it themselves. So let's make sure we remain positive, understanding, influential. Let them know that we have their back. If you got to go in the shower at night and cry, then that's what we have to do as a parent. But this is a critical time for everybody, so we have to stick together. Again, if we learn things, let's share it with each other. Hey, I learned this works, or what have you. So let's not withhold knowledge that's going to help somebody else. Thank you for allowing him to tell his story, Mom and Dad. Oh, thank y'all. Y'all raised a very, very awesome son, him and Alan, I must say. So kudos to you as parents. So y'all, I don't want to hold you up anymore. I thank you for tuning in on this Sunday, taking the time out to sit with Let's Sip and Talk with Freema. And again, if you have a story you feel you want to share, it can be small to you, but it may help somebody else. So if you have something you feel like, you know what, I want to share this, then inbox me. Let's set this date up. Let's set it up. Let's start helping each other. And it's just by this. No price. It's priceless. You just sharing it. All right. So until next time, people, as we always say, peace and love.